Steve here with Speed Kings. Today we're over here at Lyndall Brakes. These guys are one of the baddest brake manufacturers in the industry. From the composites they use to the technology they use just to adapt everything together. We're gonna go through a nice tour and see how everything's made. See some of their new innovative products they're working on. It's pretty insane the stuff we're gonna see today.
So I'll take you to the start. We never considered really the cost. You know, our mission was to build the finest brakes in the world, and we figured that'd be a good place to start. Lyndall's my first name. I started Lyndall in 1998 with the help of my mom and dad. I was working at Porterfield Enterprise, who's the largest supplier of friction material on the West Coast for race car applications. At the same time, I was doing club level road racing up at Willow Springs. We were having issues with brakes, and so I went back to Porterfield and I started hand cutting brake pads. So from 1998 to 2000, we were primarily just friction material. We started off in the AMA road racing, and the demographics and psychographics quickly pointed us to the V-twin market segment. So we set about to make high performance brakes for Harley-Davidson applications, which in 1998 was an oxymoron. Basically, all the best elements of road racing, sport bikes, and melded it into the character that you get from a Harley-Davidson V-twin, which is, we all know is like no other. That's been our vision from 1998. We saw an opportunity to start manufacturing a high-performance rotor. We kind of took what we saw in a clutch basket to make our newest design, which is the Lyndall Lug Drive system. And we're using that on not only rotors now, but sprockets and hubs as well. This is a completed high carbon, full floating lug drive rotor. It's a three-piece design, has a helical retaining clip that hold the inner and outer together. Basically a wedge of a clutch basket, and it yields 3 times the surface area for the shear load that's going to take place during braking, so you can hear that it fully floats, but it'll maintain that concentricity for the life of the rotor. This is a new product from Lyndall. It's our cassette style sprocket, also featuring the Lug Drive system for ease of servicing the drive ring, and also being able to gear up and down for in-town or interstate rides or stunts or different tracks, what have you. The drive ring goes on the carrier nice and solid. This does not float so much, but it's on there, and then the helical retaining clip is loaded to the ID, so the faster you go, the more it loads the helical retaining ring into place. Our newest rev on this is to put the lug on the outside, so you don't have to remove the bolts to service the sprocket. And we're offering that for our rotors and our sprockets now. With growing popularity of our rotors, started building wheels in 2013. We're performance focused. A lot of guys make a beautiful flowery wheel. We're not about that. We never built to price, we build to passion. So we take many extra steps as a manufacturer in terms of procuring the finest materials, scouting the best processes, and seeking out the best fit and finish that we can possibly provide for our highly valued customers. Here's some of our wheel designs. As opposed to attaching the rotor in a conventional manner, like this, onto the axle, we have isolated the axle and we plug in a truss like this. So the rotor fastens to the truss like that, and now the axle is isolated from the braking event. And this keeps the front end much more rigid, and the brake caliper is less affected and the suspension is less affected. We realize that we're the most expensive components in the business, and our aim is to build the best brakes and wheels, rotors, and sprockets in the world. And that's a tall order. There's a lot of really good companies out there, and so we have our work cut out for us every day, but that's our aspiration.
I just want to thank Paul from Lyndall Brakes, showing us around, showing us all this badass stuff they got going on. I can't say enough good things about him. Seeing all these new products and all the products they've been working on really blows my mind. That new Lug Drive system is going to really revolutionize what we got going on as far as braking and for sprockets. So really stoked to be able to do this, and I just want to say thank you from Lyndall.